Well, good afternoon, all members. All members will please come to the floor. All members. Our hour convening having arrived. All members will please come to the floor and take their seats. Mr. Clerk, will you ring the bell? All members, please come to the floor. We were given just a minute for regulated industries to get over here. All members, please come to the floor. We're going to have the afternoon roll call. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? Y'all thought that bell was your alarm clock. No, that was the bell to get started here. All members now voted. Now I believe all members have voted. So, Mr. Clerk, if you will, lock the machines. Well, good afternoon. Good to see y'all after a couple days off and a great St. Patrick's Day celebrated down in Savannah and in Dublin and some other places around the state. Hope y'all were able to enjoy all the good times that St. Patrick's Day brings. But we got some business to do today, so we're going to get started. Doorkeepers, will you please close the doors and keep them closed? As is our custom, we will begin our day with scripture, reading, and prayer by our chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. Our chaplain this afternoon will be introduced by the gentleman from the 152nd House District, Representative Bill Yerter. Representative Yerter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my pleasure to have Pastor Paul Goodhart from Sherwood Baptist Church in Albany. Paul's been married to Bree Bell for almost 29 years, and they have two daughters, Shanna and Kaylee. And they were not able to be with us today, but Paul brought one of his members, Chad Warmington. Chad also serves on the city commission down in Albany, and glad to have Chad with us today. Pastor Paul received his BA from the University of Georgia, his Master's of Divinity from Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, and his PhD from Adonai University. He was the founding and lead pastor of Life Baptist Church in Las Vegas, Nevada. He's also published 3 books. Paul has been the senior pastor at Sherwood Baptist Church in Albany since 2021. Sherwood is commonly known as a church that started the movies. Sherwood may be familiar to you. They've produced movies Facing the Giants, Fireproof, Courageous, War Room, and most recently The Forge. These are inspirational movies that people have seen all over the world. Sherwood really does, and Paul does a wonderful job ministering to the Albany area and spreading the gospel to those folks. Paul, welcome to the People's House.
Thank you, Representative Yerta, for the introduction, and also Speaker Burns for the invitation. Esteemed ladies and gentlemen and members of the Georgia House of Representatives, it is an absolute honor to be with you all this afternoon. I want to thank you all for not only what you do, but for the people you serve and how you go about serving the people in the state of Georgia. Now, in your role, I am gathering there is not a lack of people offering their opinions and bringing complaints and many times making demands. And as a Baptist pastor, I can 100% connect with that entire idea. So anyway, many times people do not understand the weight of responsibility that you all are shouldering each and every day, and the types of decisions that you're making that are going to impact thousands of people within your district as well as millions of people around the state of Georgia. And I want to thank you for your willingness to serve the people in the state. So as I was thinking about our time together, I wanted there to be something that I could share that would be of value to you, to the role that you're in, to the responsibilities that you carry, as well as to the decisions that you make. And very quickly, the idea of the book of Proverbs came to mind. The book of Proverbs is a book of wisdom, and wisdom is more than knowledge. Wisdom is the right application of knowledge. Wisdom is what allows a person to live a skillful life, that they do the right thing at the right time. And in fact, the very first 4 verses of Proverbs chapter 1, Solomon tells us the purpose behind the Proverbs. And here's what those verses say. These are the Proverbs of Solomon, David's son, king of Israel. Their purpose is to teach people wisdom and discipline, to help them understand the insights of the wise. Their purpose is to teach people to live disciplined and successful lives, to help them do what is right, just, and fair. These proverbs will give insight to the simple, knowledge and discernment to the young people. For the person who is willing to study the Proverbs and to apply the teachings that they will find, there are 3 different sets of benefits that Solomon describes to those who will study and apply these. The Proverbs will teach wisdom and discipline that enables a person to live a structured and successful life. Everybody wants to be competent and effective and successful in what they do. And Solomon is saying if you'll apply these, that's exactly what will happen. Also, the Proverbs help a person gain understanding so that they will do what is right and what is just and what is fair. Wisdom leads to right actions and just living and fair treatment. And it really doesn't matter what person you're talking to, what political party they're a part of, what religious affiliation they might have, or even personal worldview they might have. Those are values that many of us hold in common. And the Proverbs also will give insight, knowledge, and discernment to those who are young or inexperienced. Just a connection piece here. I was 27 years old when I became a senior pastor. And I'm not exactly sure who thought that was a great idea, me for accepting the position or the church for offering the position. But at that point in my life, I thought I knew a pretty good amount about a lot of things. And over the course of the years, I have realized how little I actually knew at that point in my life. I needed insight and knowledge and discernment. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter how old we are right now. Our world is changing so fast. We are always walking into challenges that there has not been a forerunner going into. We need wisdom and insight and discernment. So 26 years ago, I had a mentor come and challenge me to read the proverb, the chapter in the book of Proverbs that corresponds with the day of the month. There's typically 31 days in the month. There's 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs. And that was a challenge I took to heart 26 years ago. Takes about 5 minutes a day. But here's what I can tell you. 5 minutes a day, you will find a little bit of wisdom will make a huge impact in your life. There are countless times that what I read in the book of Proverbs that day helped me not make an unwise decision. There are days I didn't know what to do, and Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 would remind me, trust in the Lord with all of your heart. Do not lean on your own understanding. Seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. There are days I didn't think I needed anybody's help to make the decision I was about to make. And yet at the same time, Proverbs 12:15 challenged me. Fools think their own way is right, but the wise listen to others. There are some days that people would say some really hurtful things, and I wanted to respond in like fashion back to them. And I read the proverb of the day, and it says in Proverbs 12:16, a fool is quick-tempered, but a wise person stays calm when insulted. A little wisdom goes a long way. When we seek God, seek his will, God has a way of getting the right word at the right time to help us make the right decision. Many times the question is not, can I do it? The question is it wise? I encourage you, take that Proverbs challenge every single day. 5 minutes of time can pay off in a huge way. A little bit of wisdom goes a long way. If you would, stand with me as we have a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for this group, for who is represented, for the decisions that are being made, for the laws, the pieces that are being passed. God, we ask your blessing upon every part of it. May you give wisdom, discernment, and insight that will impact not only the families and individual districts, but also those throughout the state of Georgia. We thank you for what you will do in Jesus' name. Amen. If you would, let's pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Brother Paul. That was awesome.
Wonderful.
Members, we want to thank Brother Paul for that devotion. I will congratulate this house. You do listen a lot, and you exhibit great wisdom in decisions we make, so keep up the good work. Doorkeepers, you may open the doors. Members, you may join Brother Paul in that South Ante room and thank him for his words today, and take a photo. Members, our doctor of the day today was invited to join us by Representative Katie Dempsey, and that is Dr. Gregory Harris. Dr. Harris is downstairs in the aid station. If you need Dr. Harris, certainly go down and visit. We want to thank Dr. Harris for spending the time with us and willing to serve with this house. Chairman Hilton is recognized, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits. Chairman Hilton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's picture day. Your Committee on Information and Audits is looking good. We've read the journal the previous legislative day, and we have found it to be correct.
Thanks for your diligence. Chairman Hilton, the chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to dispense with the reading of the journal? Hearing none, the reading of the journal is dispensed with. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? Hearing none, the journal is confirmed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day?
Representative, the session of the 104th moves finally be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading and reference to files, bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills and resolutions. Morning orders.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? Hearing none, the resolution is adopted. First reading the bills and resolutions. Clerk will read.
House Bill 767 by Representative McLean of the 109th, Hilton of the 48th, Beckles of the 96th, Donna Tucci the 105th, Martinez is the 111th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend an act providing for the election to the Board of Education of Gwinnett County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 768 by Representative Reeves of the 99th, Abstration of the 104th, Hong of the 103rd, Clark of the 108th, Okoye of the 102nd, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to continue and recreate the State Court of Gwinnett County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 769 by Representative Reeves in the 99th, Abstration of the 104th, Hong of the 103rd, Clark of the 108th, Mitchell of the 88th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit and providing for its powers, duties, and jurisdiction.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 770 by Representative Reeves in the 99th, Abstration of the 104th, Hong of the 103rd, Clark of the 108th, Beckles of the 96th, and others. A bill be titled an act to amend an act creating the Gwinnett Judicial Circuit and providing for its powers, duties, and jurisdiction.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 771 by Representative Thomas, the 21st, Ridley, the 22nd, Scoggins, the 14th, Jones, the 47th, Jaspers, the 11th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend an act providing a homestead exemption from Cherokee County School District ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 772 by Representative Roman of the 97th, Beckles of the 96th, Lim of the 98th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to increase the homestead exemption from city and ad valorem taxes for residents of the city of Norcross.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 773 by Representative McQueen of the 61st, Berry of the 56th, Bell of the 75th, Scott of the 76th, Bernal of the 77th, and others. Bill be titled an act to amend Title 47 of the official code of Georgia and State relating to retirement and pensions.
Retirement.
House Bill 774 by Representative Crawford of the 89th, Trenner of the 85th, Mitchell of the 88th, Barnes of the 86th, Oliver of the 84th, and others. Bill be titled an act to authorize the assessment and collection of a technology fee by the probate court of DeKalb County.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 775 by Representative Crowe of the 118th. Bill be titled an act to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from Butts County School District ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 776 by Representative Jones of the 47th, Glaze of the 67th, Martin of the 49th, McQueen of the 61st, Jones of the 25th, and others. Bill be titled an act to provide a homestead exemption from Fulton County School District ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Bill 777 by Representative Jones of the 47th, Glaze of the 67th, Martin of the 49th, McQueen of the 61st, Jones of the 25th, and others. Bill be titled an act to provide a homestead exemption from Fulton County School District ad valorem taxes.
Intergovernmental coordination.
House Resolution 590 by Representative Dickey, the 134th, Parsons, the 44th, Martin of the 49th, Williams, the 37th, Anderson of the 10th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on Telecommunications Services and Programs.
Energy, utilities, and telecommunications.
House Resolution 591 by Representative Canada, the 58th, Bennett, the 94th, Miller, the 62nd, Hughley, the 141st, Schofield, the 63rd. A resolution recognizing March 14, 2025 as Black Midwives Day.
Public and community health.
House Resolution 592 by Representative Newton of the 127th. A resolution creating a House Study Committee on non-compete clauses and physician contracts.
Health.
House Resolution 593 by Representative Newton of the 127th, Taylor the 173rd, Green of the 154th, Hawkins the 27th, and Williams the 168th. A resolution creating the House Study Committee on maternal, prenatal, and pediatric care access and funding.
Public and community health.
That completes first readers.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. Mr. Clerk, will you read?
House Bill 755 by Representative Ballinger of the 23rd, Ridley of the 22nd, Thomas of the 21st, Jones of the 47th, Scoggins of the 14th, and others. A bill to authorize the governing authority of Cherokee County to levy an excise tax. House Bill 756 by Representative Jackson of the 165th, Hitchens of the 161st, Petrie of the 166th, Gilliard of the 162nd, Westbrook of the 163rd. A bill to amend an act creating a Chatham Area Transit Authority. House Bill 757 by Representative Kelly of the 16th, Jaspers of the 11th, Kendrick of the 95th, Ridley of the 6th, and Mathis of the 133rd, a bill relating to Kratom. House Bill 758 by Representative Mathiak of the 82nd, Camp of the 135th, a bill to provide a homestead exemption from Spalding County School District ad valorem taxes. House Bill 759 by Representative Camp of the 135th and Mathiak of the 82nd, a bill to amend an act to provide a board of elections for Spalding County. House Bill 760 by Representative Saines of the 180th, Townsend of the 179th, Deloach of the 167th, a bill to amend an act creating a board of commissioners of Glenn County. House Bill 761 by Representative Clark of the 108th, Lemon of the 98th, and McLean of the 109th, a bill to amend an act to provide a homestead exemption from all City of Lilburn ad valorem taxes for city purposes. House Bill 762 by Representative Gilliard of the 162nd, Petrie of the 166th, Hitchens of the 161st, Stevens of the 164th, a bill to provide for the creation of the Savannah Music Commission. House Bill 763 by Representative Stevens of the 164th, Petrie of the 166th, Franklin of the 160th, a bill to create and establish the Richmond Hill Bryan County Airport Authority. House Bill 764 by Representative Jaspers of the 11th, a bill to amend an act providing for a new charter for the City of Nelson. House Bill 765 by Representative Campbell of the 35th, Roberts of the 52nd, Cummings of the 39th, Panich of the 51st, Hughley of the 141st, and others. A bill to amend the Fair Business Practices Act of 1975. House Bill 766 by Representative Chokas of the 151st. A bill to create and establish the Sumter Americas County Unification Commission. House Resolution 567 by Representative Cannon of the 172nd and Ford of the 170th. Resolution honoring the life of Mr. Zara D. Story and dedicating an interchange in his memory. Through second readers.
Reports of standing committees. Mr. Clerk, will you read?
Representative Yurt of the 152nd District, Chairman of the Committee on Code Revision, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Code Revision has had under its consideration the following bills of the Senate. It's instructed me to report same back to the House with following recommendations. Senate Bill 96 do pass by committee substitute. Senate Bill 153 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Yurt of the 152nd District, Chairman. Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman of the Committee on Higher Education, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Higher Education has had under its consideration the following bills of the Senate. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House with following recommendations. Senate Bill 85 do pass by committee substitute. Senate Bill 149 do pass. Senate Bill 193 do pass by committee substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Chuck Martin of the 49th District, Chairman. Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District, Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination has had under its consideration the following bills of the Senate. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 151 do pass by substitute. Senate Bill 252 do pass by substitute. Senate Bill 260 do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District, Chairman. Representative John Corbett of the 174th District, Chairman of the Committee on Motor Vehicles, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Motor Vehicles has had under its consideration the following bills and resolution of the House and Senate. It's instructed me to report the same back to the House with the following recommendations. Senate Bill 293 do pass by substitute. House Resolution 558 do pass by substitute. Respectfully submitted, Representative John Corbett of the 174th District, Chairman. Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District, Chairman of the Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Local, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination Locals had under its consideration following bills of the House and the Senate. Is instructed me to report same back to the House with the following recommendations. House Bill 67 do pass. House Bill 732 do pass. House Bill 734 do pass. House Bill 735 do pass. House Bill 737 do pass. House Bill 738 do pass. House Bill 739 do pass. House Bill 741 do pass. House Bill 743 do pass. House Bill 744 do pass. House Bill 745 do pass. House Bill 746 do pass. Senate Bill 302 do pass. Respectfully submitted, Representative Beth Camp of the 135th District. Chairman. That completes the reading of the reports of standing committees.
House will come to order. House will come to order. Members, please take your seats. Members, if I can have your attention, please. Members, if I have your attention, please, we have a special guest. Members, the ante rooms aren't full. I can see them. If you have a conversation, you can take them there. We have a special guest this morning. We have a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, so show him the proper respect and attention as a member of the House and a good Georgia native. Representative Rich McCormick has joined us this morning. He's been in the Capitol this morning and made some nice rounds, speaking to some folks. He does a good job of representing you folks who reside in the 7th Congressional District. I've visited his office, and he's been extended a great warm welcome. We appreciate that when we were in Washington, and you made me feel very much at home, and we very much appreciate that. Appreciate the job you're doing representing Georgia. We ask, and we know you will. Keep up the good work. Come back and see us anytime. Representative Rich McCormick, y'all. Thank you, members. Members, we do have a local calendar this morning. We have a local calendar. Members, we have 6 bills on the local calendar. We have a local calendar. 6 bills on the local calendar relate to homestead exemption, and as you know, require a recorded 2/3 roll call vote for passage. For what purpose does Chair Lady Camp rise?
To make a motion
State your motion.
to remove 4 bills from the local calendar and recommit them to intergovernmental coordination.
You want to tell me which bills those are?
Yes, sir. HB 743, HB 744, HB 745, and HB 746.
And you want to recommit them back to intergovernmental coordination?
Yes, recommit them to intergovernmental coordination.
Ladies made a motion. Mr. Clerk, will you read a caption to those 4 bills?
House Bill 743 to be entitled an act to provide a homestead exemption from the City of Social Circle ad valorem taxes. House Bill 744 to be entitled an act to provide a homestead exemption from the City of Walnut Grove ad valorem taxes. House Bill 745 to be entitled an act to provide a homestead exemption from the City of Loganville ad valorem taxes for municipal purposes. And House Bill 746 to be entitled an act to provide a homestead exemption for the City of Monroe ad valorem taxes.
On the lady's motion, the House Bill 743, 744, 745, and 746 be removed from the local calendar and recommitted to Intergovernmental Coordination Committee. Is the objection? Hearing none, it is so ordered.
Yes, sir.
We'll have now third reading and passage of uncontested local bills, less the 4 bills I just called out. If there's no objection, we will vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing none, it is so ordered. Mr. Clerk, will you read the local calendar without those 4 bills on it?
Count towards your 10. House Bill 637 by Representative Cummings of the 39th Cobb County. House Bill 732 by Representative Townsend of the 179th Glynn County. House Bill 734 by Representative Hagan of the 156th City of Idalia. House Bill 735 by Representative Hagan of the 156th City of Lyons. House Bill 737 by Representative Smith of the 18th Harrison County. House Bill 738 by Representative Crowe of the 118th Butts County. House Bill 739 by Representative Park of the 107th City of Lawrenceville. House Bill 741 by Representative Petrie of the 166th Bryan County. And Senate Bill 302 by Senator Kennedy, the 18th Peach County.
Members, before I order the previous question, I'm going to let you know if you would like to join Representative McCormick in that South Annie room, have a few words and maybe a photo, you'll be welcome to do that. You'll be very much welcome. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bills? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall these bills now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bills on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machines? Have all members voted? All members voted? If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the local calendar, without House Bill 743, 744, 745, and 746, the yeas are 171, the nays are 0. These bills, having received a requisite constitutional majority, are therefore passed. Members, we do have morning orders in the afternoon. We're going to begin our orders with a strict, very strict 2-minute time limit. Hope you can do less. Very strict 2-minute time limit. Representative McDonald is recognized for an afternoon order, a morning order in the afternoon. And friends.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep. Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, this is a very special day for me, for a very special person that's been a part of my life for 30 years. William Wright, stand up. Stand up. William is just retiring as the 911 director of Barrow County. William has served Fannin County, White County, Hall County, and his last tour of duty was in Barrow County, where he's been serving there for quite a few years. Little story on William. He also works at the funeral home for me. And one day, he's a heck of a funeral director. But one day we're up in Fannin County and walking from the church down to the grave, and all of a sudden this grave digger that knew him growing up, and he goes, "Sweet William." So he's always been Sweet William to me, and I'm so happy for your retirement. I look forward to you getting back to the funeral home full time, but we've got a resolution here, so when we finish, if you'll come down to the ante room, please. Holt Persinger.
Hey, I just want to also thank you, William, for all of your service to Barrow County. You know, all of the planning and work that you did and helping coordinate our local agencies and everything, and how the dispatch was handled on September 4th at Appalachia. Just thank you so much for everything you did, and congratulations on your retirement.
William, if you'll come down to the third floor. Stand up, William.
Mr. Wright, thank you for your service. We know your job is a very, very important job. 911 fills a void in our lives and helps us have order in our society. Thank you for your service to your fellow man. We appreciate you, and thanks for being here today. Representative Lim is recognized for an afternoon order, a morning order in the afternoon. Representative Lim.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am pleased to welcome Nesbitt Elementary and their student council here today with Principal Nakia Miller. I don't see them anymore in the gallery, so they probably went to catch their buses, but deserve recognition all the same. I've spoken previously in this well about their excellence, particularly in robotics and the arts, but this year they put a special emphasis on something I know is very important to us, that is literacy, recently hosting their first annual literacy night with over 200 families, and stressing not just students, but also adults and the intergenerational nature of language development. On a totally separate note, which I'll call financial literacy, I also wanted to recognize them as one of 3 Gwinnett County public schools to receive the Audit Excellence Award this year. They learned a lot here today. I particularly want to thank Leader Hughley for motivating and addressing them, and Representative Huddleston for showing them a freshly printed paper House bill where they learned, as we all already know, it all begins. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Thank you, Representative Lim. We're sorry we missed Nesbitt. Sounds like a very impressive group. Thanks for bringing them down, and give them my regards, and invite them back again. Representative Jasmine Clark and the Gwinnett delegation. Representative Jasmine Clark, Gwinnett delegation. Give the delegation and the well your attention, please. The lady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we had the honor of having the Gwinnett Youth Commission join us today. The Gwinnett Youth Commission is a program designed to educate our youth in Gwinnett County about local government, as well as to provide these youth with the opportunity to affect change in their community. They visited with the Senate earlier this morning at 10 o'clock, and then they had lunch with members of the delegation, and they should be here in the gallery. Are they still here? I don't know, they might have had to hit on the bus because, Gwinnett has a lot of traffic to get there, and they needed to get back. So thank you so much to the Gwinnett Youth Commission for coming down and learning about the legislative process and about, all levels of government at the state and local level. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Mac Jackson is recognized for an order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today we rise to recognize the mayor of Thompson, Georgia, Mayor Benji Cranford, and he has with him his son, JB, today. They've been excited to be here at the Capitol. They witnessed a lot of things going on. They were able to attend the rules meeting this morning. So let's give them a hand for being at the state capitol today. Mayor Benji Cranford. If you'll come down to the ante room, we'll get some pictures.
Representative Johnny Chastain, recognized for an order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two groups from Fannin County with us today. And the first one, I'll go ahead and introduce both of them, and then we can acknowledge them.
Gentlemen, we'll suspend just for a moment. I think your folks are in the gallery. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have two groups with us today from Fannin County. The first one is our Fannin County High School GOP Republican Club. You guys stand up. And we also have the teacher advisors with us today with that group, Justin and Brittany Stennett. Stand up. Also, we have two special guests with us with that group, the Fannin County High School 2025 salutatorian Julie Farmer, and the third in the class of 2025, Bella Patton. You guys stand up. Also, we have the Fannin County Lady Rebels, Single A 2025 state basketball champions with us today. You all stand up. Yeah, come on up here. Come on up here.
Since you whooped us,
yes.
I can stand here.
All right. We have with them the head coach, Ryan Chastain, the assistant coach, Megan Orton, and Randy Hallmark, assistant coach. And also we have the men's coach with us this afternoon, Greg Linder. These gals had a great season. They worked really hard like many great teams. They continue to get better each game, all the way up to the state championship. A lot of hard work. We're very proud of you guys for winning the state championship. And also we have with us from the Fannin County Administration, the Superintendent of Schools, Shannon Dillard, the Principal of Fannin County High School, Scott Ramsey, the Assistant Principal, David Henson, and the Athletic Director, Jeremy King. All of y'all stand up and welcome to the Capitol today. Thank you. We also have our resource officer with us somewhere up there, Mr. Anthony Walden, wherever he's at. My brother-in-law. Thank you, Anthony. Appreciate all you do for us. Keep us safe.
Congratulations. I think Fannin County is always in the state championship or close by it, aren't y'all? Congratulations. I know y'all are proud. Y'all have won several over the last few years. I've watched you. Great season. Thanks for all of you from Fannin County. Is anybody in Blue Ridge holding the fort down today? Everybody's here. Good. Good to have y'all. Representative Jenkins is recognized for an order.
Mr. Speaker, friends, today I rise to recognize members of the Georgia River Network for Boaters Day at the Capitol. As one who's traveled the globe, I can personally say that Georgia's rivers are one of our state's finest treasures, and I encourage each and every one of you to take a minute and enjoy them. Our freedom to float is big business in Georgia, generating $1.1 billion in economic activity. Georgia's streams and support small businesses. Some 70,000 small businesses, or 70 small businesses, offer canoe, kayak, raft, paddleboard renters, and hundreds of independent fishing guides depend on access for floating on the state's 70,000-mile network of rivers and streams. Additionally, there are 3 Georgia-based manufacturers that manufacture kayaks. Water-based recreation means economic development in rural Georgia. Of Georgia's 159 counties, 96% are home to streams that are capable of floating recreational vessels like canoes and kayaks. For instance, in Gilmer County, the whitewater stretches of the Cartacay River are part of a $14.9 million a year local amusement industry that creates 263 local jobs and provides $2.9 million in income. So again, welcome the boaters.
Leader F. Strachan is recognized for an order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm very excited to recognize House Resolution 430, recognizing the Punjab language. Did you know that the Punjab language is named for a region in India and Pakistan, and that this language is the 9th most widely spoken language in the world? There are a significant number of speakers in India, Pakistan, the UK, the United States, Canada, and Australia, and that there are actually 780,000 Punjab-speaking Americans with more than 15,000 Punjab-speaking Georgians. We have our friends from the Sikh community in Gwinnett County, including my dear friend Surinder Singh with us here today. Members of the House, if you'd please rise to recognize the Punjab language resolution which we have here at the state capitol. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Leader. Welcome. It's good to have y'all. We're always good to have folks in the People's House. We appreciate you. And thanks. And come anytime. Come back to see us. Members, I want to get your attention. Are both of y'all coming up? Members, we have some guests in the chamber today in the gallery. I want you to give your attention to the folks who are coming up to make a presentation. Representative Neal and Representative Gamble, you're recognized for an order. Give the folks in the well your attention, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Japan Day at the state capitol, and so we are honored to have had 19 different Japanese-based companies that were able to exhibit and be here today to celebrate. Japan has over 700 affiliated companies in Georgia and employs over 43,000 with a cumulative investment in our state of over $13.5 billion. And this year we celebrate the 51st anniversary of the consulate office here in Atlanta, and we're honored today. I serve as the co-chair, and Representative Neal are both the co-chairs of our Japan caucus, and we are honored today to be joined by Consulate General Mio Maeda. And so at this time we would ask that he, along with those with us today, please stand so that we can recognize you. Thank you. We also did a resolution honoring you, and this was rescheduled from the snow that canceled the original date, but we're honored to celebrate Japan today and their important relationship that we have with our state in trade. So thank you so much for being with us and letting us honor you.
Thank you, Representative. Consul General, friends, it was great to be with y'all this morning. It's a great partnership and relationship we have with Japan, and thanks for your investment here in Georgia, and we look forward to reciprocating that and working with you as always. Representative Moore, if you'll hold just for a second. Representative Moore, hold just for a second. Members, I want you to Members, if you'll help me welcome back a former member of this House, Chairman Tom Taylor. It's good to have you back. Tom, good to see you. We appreciate your work, appreciate your relationship with Japan and all you're doing to help build on the relationship. Thank you so much. Representative Moore, you're recognized for an order now in the afternoon. Give the lady your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, please help me welcome the Georgia Latino Film Alliance, which is the first film organization founded and produced by Afro-Latinos. The Alliance inspires, promotes, and advocates for Latinos, contents, creators, and media, and is established as a nonprofit organization here in Georgia. As well, I'd like to thank Governor Kemp this morning for welcoming the organization to this group, to this house this morning, and ask that you stop by 2:30 today and introduce yourself to the members. Please help me welcome the members of the Georgia House of Representatives. They're probably down in 2:30 by now. Oh, there are some members right there. Welcome. Thank you all for coming. And what a great week to come. It is Georgia Film Week.
Thank you, Representative. Good to have y'all. Film industry does a lot here in Georgia. We appreciate y'all's input and your business in helping Georgia. Thank you for being here. Members, if I can have your attention, that completes our morning orders in the afternoon. We're going to take a panoramic right now in just a minute, so here's what we're going to do. If you don't want to look foolish in this photo, you need to listen to me just for a minute, because we can only Photoshop so much. Some of you is going to take a lot. So here's what we're going to do, y'all. Clear your desk. We need all members to clear your desk. We're going to stand at ease. I'm going to give you just a moment to do this. You don't have to do it helter-skelter, but here's what we need to do. You need to clear your desk. That includes your binders. You need to clear your desk, including your binders, everything off your desk. All right, we have a few empty seats on the front row. Members in the back, we're going to ask you to stand as we go through the process, but if any of you in the chamber, especially those on the front row, on the back row, would like to move to the front, you're welcome to do that. I'm going to ask all guests to please leave the chamber. All guests, if you will exit the chamber, that'd be great. Okay, members, we're going to stand at ease just for a minute while you get set for the panoramic. Again, clear your desk. That includes your binders. Members on the back row, you'll
Bill 5 by Senator Hickman, and the fourth and others to be titled an act to amend Title 34 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to labor and industrial relations so as to phase out the payment of sub-minimum wage to persons with disabilities. This bill having referred to the Committee on Industry and Labor, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chair Lady Cooper is recognized to present Senate Bill 55. Chair Lady.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a bill that we passed out of this chamber last year with a unanimous vote, and I am very honored to bring it back, even though it came from the Senate side. In the 1930s, the federal government came up with a program to help disabled people intellectually and developmentally find jobs. It was meant to help them go out into their communities. But unfortunately, some people found out that they could use them in almost like slave workshops, paying them far less and as little as 22 cents an hour. Yes, I said 22 cents an hour. We have 8 of those programs out of 60 or so still functioning in the state of Georgia. This bill would do away with those programs or have them adapt. They would have 2 years with federal assistance, helping them go from what they're paying now, which most is about the lowest, I think, is $2 an hour, and help them get up to the federal minimum wage of $7.50. That's what the program does. It's about dignity and fairness and making sure that people with disabilities are paid at least what we consider the bare minimum wage for all other workers. Mr. Speaker, if there's no questions, I will yield the well and ask for this chamber's favorable vote once again.
The lady has a couple of questions, if she'll yield.
I'll take a couple, sir.
Representative Jasmine Clark to your left is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you so much for the bill. Does the lady yield?
Yes, I will.
So I appreciate what this bill is doing, and I would love to support it, and I do plan to support it. But one of the concerns is a lot of individuals with disabilities are also on SSI, and SSI has very strict rules about how much income you can have, otherwise you would lose it. Right. Is there any concern that this might make someone who gets SSI all of a sudden ineligible?
Thank you for that question. No, there is no concern, because this chamber and the other one, and with the signature of the governor, has safeguards, mainly our state's ABLE accounts, which allows these people to make and save money without losing these benefits. So those benefits of Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare are safe.
Lady, you have one more question?
Yes, sir.
Representative Holly to your left, towards the back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentlelady yield?
I will.
Thank you. Is it not true that this bill, not only did we pass it out last time, but the good news is that so many in the disability community know that by allowing them to take part in an integrated employment environment, we'll actually be respecting them and allow for them to finally be able to work a job to earn what most of us have in our first jobs. Is it not true?
It is true. And I will tell you that this group of workers are often the very best you will ever get. They come through rain or snow to the office to work. They work long hours, and they work to their very best ability, and we should all be proud of the individuals in these programs. With that, Mr. Speaker, I will yield the well. Thank you.
The ladies yielded the well. Thanks to you and Senator Hickman. A good bill. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 5555, the yeas are 163, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 8888?
Senate Bill 88 by Senator Bearden of the 30th and others to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 1562 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating the number of judges in superior courts so as to provide for a fourth judge of the superior courts of the Douglas Judicial Circuit. This bill I have referred to the Committee on Judiciary. That committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Representative Kimberly New is recognized to present the bill. Representative New.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. It's my honor to speak to you today about Senate Bill 88. This bill will add a fourth Superior Court judge for the Douglas Judicial Circuit. It also allows them to stagger the term and allows for an election in 2026. This legislation was requested on behalf of the Chief Judge of Douglas County because Douglas County has not added a Superior Court judge since 1998. Since then, the growth of our county has doubled. The Judicial Council of Georgia, based on the workload analysis, recognizes that Douglas County is currently the second highest judicial circuit in terms of workload assessment. Our 3 judges are doing the work of 4.5 judges and have been for the past several years. We are in the budget for 2026, and this bill passed the House unanimously last year. It was HB 884 and didn't quite make it over the finish line in the Senate. So, Mr. Speaker, that is the bill, and I'll take any questions.
Lady has no questions.
Thank you, and I ask for your favorable consideration for SB 88. I yield the well.
Ladies, yield the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 88, the yeas are 171, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption of the House to Senate Bill 145.
Senate Bill 145 by Senator Burns, the 23rd, to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 1562 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating the number of judges of Superior Court so as to provide for a 6th judge of the Superior Courts of the Augusta Judicial Circuit. This bill I have referred to the Committee on Judiciary. That committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chairman Newton is recognized to present Senate Bill 145.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and colleagues. I do come before you with SB 145. It has to do with another judgeship, which is adding a 6th Superior Court judge to the Augusta Judicial Circuit. That would be Augusta, Richmond County, and then Burke County as well. This legislation was requested on behalf of Chief Judge Glanville of Richmond County. The Judicial Council of Georgia, based on that workload analysis we discussed a moment ago, is the 3rd highest in demand for an additional judge. We are in the 2026 budget for both the governor and the House for a 6th judge. I hope you'll join me in voting in favor of making this needed assessment for law enforcement and judicial needs. Glad to answer any questions, Speaker.
The gentleman has no questions.
Thank you. I appreciate it, and I yield the will.
The gentleman has yielded the will. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 145, the yeas are 172, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill number 6?
Senate Bill 6 by Senator Kirkpatrick of the 32nd and others to be titled an act to amend Code Section 26.3.22 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to other laws unaffected by the Georgia Drug and Cosmetic Act so as to authorize the use of testing equipment to determine whether or not a controlled substance has been adulterated. This bill having referred to the Committee on Health, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Representative Sharon Cooper is recognized to present the bill. The lady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I bring you Senate Bill 6. As you know, we have an opioid problem in this state, and this bill will give us another tool or different tools to help fight against drug overdoses. As you might know, there are strips that people can buy. They're fentanyl strips, and if you test a drug that you're going to take and it has fentanyl in it, these strips will tell you that, so that perhaps you won't take that drug and end up dying from it. Well, there are all sorts of other drugs that are just as lethal as the fentanyl that are being used to dilute the opioids in these illegal drugs. And these strips are coming on the market, and this bill would allow them to be sold to the public. The other thing it would do, it says that if someone has these strips on them, that they're not considered drug paraphernalia, and the person would not be charged with carrying drugs, illegal drugs with them. So that is what the bill does, and I would ask for your favorable vote for this. As I said, anything we can to prevent deaths, as long as somebody is alive, we have a chance of helping them overcome an addiction. When they're dead, there is no hope. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the well.
Ladies yielded the will. She had no questions. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 6, the yeas are 170, nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 276?
Senate Bill 276 by Senator Eccles of the 49th and others to be titled an act to amend Code Section 49.4.148 of the official code of Georgia annotated relating to recovery of medical assistance from third party liable for sickness, injury, disease, or disability. This bill having referred to the Committee on Insurance, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Representative Gamble is recognized to present the bill. The gentleman is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senate Bill 276 brings Georgia into compliance with federal requirements. The U.S. Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2022 requires states to have laws in effect that bar liable third-party payers from refusing payment to Medicaid for a service based solely on the fact that prior authorization was not issued first. This is a bill that is being brought to us from the agency. DCH has requested this in order to be in compliance with federal law. As you know, Medicaid is the payer of last resort and only pays for covered services if there are no other liable third-party payers. This could be a commercial insurance plan, a lawsuit settlement, or a workers' compensation settlement. This bill will ensure that those primary payment sources cannot unreasonably deny payment to Medicaid for services for which they are responsible. This bill will uphold the integrity of the Medicaid program and increase the revenue to the program as payment by primary sources are unable to be denied based on a requirement for prior authorization. That, in effect, is what the bill does, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
The gentleman has no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I ask for your favorable consideration, and I yield the will.
The gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 276, the yeas are 168, the nays are 2. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 109-109?
Senate Bill 109 by Senator Harbison of the 15th to be entitled an act to amend Chapter 25 of Title 33 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to life insurance so as to prohibit a policy of group life insurance from excluding or restricting liability for certain deaths occurring while an individual is on active duty. This bill having referred to the Committee on Insurance, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
Chairman Eddie Lumsden is recognized to present the bill. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, I bring to you Senate Bill 109. This is the same as House Bill 182 that was passed unanimously by this body on February the 24th. This is a Department of Insurance bill that deals with group life insurance as it pertains to members of our armed forces. Every life insurance policy contains exclusions. An exclusion is a defined cause of death that is not covered by the terms of the policy and is clearly stated in the language of the policy. In most policies, the term act of war is most often used to define this exclusion. However, in a group life policy, the term active duty is used. Now, a person can be on active duty and not be in a war zone. In fact, only about 5% of our military actually see combat. So the purpose and the language of this bill is to make it clear that simply being on active duty in and of itself is not a valid reason to deny a claim. Mr. Speaker, that's the bill. I'll stand for any questions.
The gentleman has a couple of questions to your left. Representative Hefner is recognized for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I do.
Sir, does this policy offer both the potential that would not allow it to deny military personnel or to address gaps in coverage for military personnel who may be traveling in uniform in an off-duty status, like in the airport, that they are not performing a function of in a war or combat zone, they are actually on leave, traveling home?
The term active duty can apply to whether you're actually engaged in some function of your job or whether you're off duty. The term active duty is a broad umbrella that applies in a lot of ways. And with an insurance policy, the exclusions that I'm referring to, particularly in this sense, act of war is generally the one that we're talking about as being the issue that is of concern, because you can be in an accident while being on active duty, and this stemmed from a situation where a person was on active duty but was involved in an automobile accident in his hometown. So this makes it clear that just simply being on active duty is not a basis for denying a claim.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for such a clear explanation. Thank you for the bill, sir.
You're welcome.
Representative Reese to your left in the back is recognized. He's standing to your left.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Does the gentleman yield?
I yield.
Sir, I want to thank you for carrying this bill for my colleague of the Columbus delegation, Senator Harbison, who worked with a young man in our community who indeed this did happen to. The insurance company denied his claim under the military exemption, but he was nowhere near military duty at the time. So isn't it true that our insurance commissioner worked with Senator Harbison and others to craft this legislation so that we can protect our men and women in uniform that are operating on their personal business but are being denied by insurance companies just because of their service to America?
Gentleman knows of what he speaks.
Thank you, sir.
Gentleman has no further questions.
Mr. Speaker, I'll yield the will. I would appreciate your favorable consideration.
Gentleman's yielded the will. We do have a speaker to speak in favor. Leader Hughley is recognized to speak to the bill. Members, give the lady in the well your attention, please. Lady's recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I come to speak the name of the young man who died and who this bill should be named for, Sergeant Brandon Frazier. His father came by my office yesterday, and his father wants to thank us for moving this bill forward because his son was involved in an accident as he was home visiting the family. He was home, he's in the military, but he was home visiting the family at the time. And so Mr. Frazier wants us to remember his son's name, Sergeant Brandon Frazier. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I ask everyone's favorable consideration, and I yield the well.
The lady has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. Yes, so Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 109, the yeas are 172, the nays are 0. This bill has received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Mr. Clerk, will you read the caption to Senate Bill 3535?
Senate Bill 35 by Senator Walker, the 20th, and others, to be entitled an act to amend Code Section 33, 24, 46 of the Official Code of Georgia annotated relating to cancellation or non-renewal of certain property insurance policies so as to increase the number of days of notice required to be given a policyholder. This bill having referred to the Committee on Insurance, that committee recommends that this bill do pass.
We're going to straighten this insurance stuff out here, I can tell. Representative Gamble is recognized to present Senate Bill 35. Give the gentleman your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senate Bill 35 simply is a consumer-friendly bill in the insurance space dealing with property and casualty insurance. Right now, you have 30 days upon cancellation or non-renewal of your property and casualty policy or your homeowner's policy that you have to be notified, and all this does is give you additional time. So if your insurer decides for whatever reason to cancel your policy now, rather than having the 30 days, you'll have 60 days. Part of the rationale for doing this, as you all know, the United States Postal Service has been a little bit slower in delivering mail, and so this will provide additional time for you to find coverage beyond the existing policy that you might have. So that's all this bill does, is go from 30 days to 60 days, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
You did a good job. You don't have any questions.
I ask for your favorable consideration, and I yield the well. Thank you.
Thank you for the bill. Is there any objection? The gentleman's yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? Hearing none, the previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? Hearing none, the report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no. And Mr. Clerk, will you unlock the machine? Have all members voted? All members voted. If so, Mr. Clerk, will you lock the machine? On the passage of Senate Bill 35, the yeas are 168, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. Members, that completes our rules calendar. We'll move on to afternoon orders. Representative Tran, do you have friends coming with you? It's just you. Just going to be members, if you'll join me in standing. Representative Tran has a remembrance today. Give the gentleman your attention, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, this past Sunday marked 4 years since the violent spa shootings, the Atlanta spa shootings, in which across 3 businesses, 8 people were killed, six of them AAPI women. And so if we can just take a moment of silence to remember those victims. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Representative Tran. Representative Montahan and the Paulding delegation. Chairman Gullett.
Well, anybody? Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Give the this gentleman will. Let's hold up just for a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we had some severe weather in our state, so representatives are here to talk about, and Representative Montahan is going to tell us about what happened in their community. So give him your attention, please. Gentlemen, we'll continue.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Late Saturday night and into early Sunday morning, Paulding County had a tremendous weather event. It was a EF1 tornado that struck and touched down right in the heart of House District 17, about a quarter mile from my house. Y'all were blessed. There was no major injuries. There were no fatalities, and so we feel like the Lord was with us that night for sure. Wind speeds of up to 110 miles per hour, and it actually tracked the path. And Mr. Speaker, I'm not sure how it did this between me and Representative Gullett's house. So y'all take what you will from that. But I wanted to thank the members who reached out to the members of our delegation, who checked in on us, offered their generators and their support. I know that some members of our community are still without power, as many of y'all in South Georgia have felt so recently, and we're still trying to work on communication wires and all that. But I did want to thank the Paulding EMA and GEMA, first responders, DOT, former member of this house who's now a DOT member who worked those roads with me almost every day. And y'all can see some of the damage that's up here on the board. It was tremendous. And our linemen, y'all, the linemen who got out there in the rain, dealing with that electricity, we thank y'all so much. Greystone and all the other EMCs that came in, they rushed into our district to help us. Thank you so much, and thank you, Mr. Speaker, for an opportunity to say that. And I don't know if these members would like to say anything. I know it affected Representative Gullett. For that, Mr. Speaker, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Gentlemen, you did well. Thank you, members. We're certainly sorry that it impacted your community, but we're blessed, no deaths, no serious injuries, so that's a blessing. But I want to thank you and your delegation and the members of this house. Anytime there's weather troubles around our state, this house has always responded to the fellow members, taking care of neighbors, so thank you for that. And I know that our Representative Montahan has been a champion for helping folks all over the state, especially in South Georgia, so thank you for being so helpful to others, and sorry it came home to y'all, but appreciate you helping your neighbors. Representative Kendrick is recognized for an afternoon order. Representative Kendrick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am rising today to wish my grandmother a happy 83rd birthday. We celebrated this weekend with her, and so I just want to wish her a very happy birthday. Now, speaking of birthdays, this is my annual birthday rant. So for those of you that are new, you know that each time there is a member that has a birthday, the speaker calls out their name and everybody gives them a round of applause. But for those of us that have a birthday outside of the legislative session, like me, August the 28th, we don't get to hear the speaker's name. We don't get a round of applause. So for those members who have a birthday outside of the legislative session, if you would stand up so that our colleagues can give us our just due for having birthdays outside of the legislative session. Wait for your picture. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We could come back in special session and take care of that. What do you think? No. Thank you. You're right, Shay. No. Got to get everyone in the act. That's a good one. Chairman Bonner, recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, I just wanted to bring to your attention that earlier today we inducted 14 Georgians into the Georgia Military Veterans Hall of Fame. Of those 14, 7 of those awards were posthumous, but every single one of those folks represented every corner of Georgia, represented all branches of service, and those photos will be on display down in the first floor hallway as you come through security. So just want to draw your attention to that and take a moment to see those photos on your way out. Thank you.
Chairman Dickey, recognized, and friends who have friends. Gentleman's recognized.
Come on. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Colleagues, on each of your desks is a commemorative bottle of Coca-Cola that our great Commissioner of Agriculture, Tyler Harper, put on your desk. And I just I want to say a shout out to the wonderful things that your Department of Agriculture do, not only for farmers, keeping agriculture #1 in this state, but also to consumers, keeping them safe and fed in this state. So hope you enjoy the commemorative bottle and the 150th anniversary of the Georgia Department of Agriculture.
Today's National Day of Ag.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Representative Sharp is recognized for an afternoon order.
Thank you, Speaker. Those of you know that I've been up here now 13 years, and I like to say that our doorkeepers are very, very special. We've seen some come and go, and I try to stay in touch with them, throughout off session. But today we have a very, very special birthday with Miss Mary Alexander over there in the red. So I'm gonna sing this special song to you. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Thank you, Miss Mary.
Thank you, Miss Mary. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of our doorkeepers. Thank you for the work y'all do for us. That completes our afternoon orders. We have some announcements this time. We have a whole slew of privileged resolutions. Mr. Clerk, will you read a caption to a group of privileged resolutions?
Honoring the life and memory of Kenneth K. Mickens. Honoring the life and memory of Audrey Lean Clinton Fisher. Honoring the life and memory of Lester Bill Allen. Honoring the life and memory of Pastor Wallace B. Herring, Sr. Honoring the life and memory of Mr. Francis Malin Yao. Recognizing and commending the International We Love You Foundation. Congratulating and commending Keisha J. Porter for receiving the 2025 Yellow Rose Nikki T. Randall Service Leadership Award. Recognizing and commending the Rosa T. Beard Debutante Club on its 6th cotillion. Recognizing April 2025 as Minority Health Month and encouraging cholesterol screening. Recognizing and commending the Atlantic Institute. Recognizing and commending Reverend Cheryl Harris King on the occasion of her 20th pastoral anniversary. Congratulating the Hardaway Hawks varsity girls basketball team for winning the 2025 GHSA Class 2A Girls Varsity Basketball State Championship. Recognizing and commending Coach Keith Maloof upon his retirement. Recognizing and commending Tony Lay. Recognizing and commending Reverend John H. Herring. And commending Sarah Mallett for being named Bibb County's Teacher of the Year for 2024. Commending PCOM Georgia and PCOM South Georgia. Commending DJ Herm for being named Monroe County's Teacher of the Year for 2024. Recognizing and commending Franklin Bailey. Commending Adrian Gates and recognizing March 20th, 2025 as Trailblazing Women in Georgia Day. Commending Coco Brown. Congratulating the Fannin County Ladies Rebel Basketball Team for winning the 2025 GHSA Class A Division I State Basketball Championship. Commending Janice Colbert and recognizing March 20th, 2025 as Trailblazing Women in Georgia Day. Commending Sabrina Walters and recognizing March 2025 as Trailblazing Women Day. Recognizing, commending Carol Renee Jones. Recognizing, commending Mr. Daniel Kiptu Bargoria on his outstanding public service. Recognizing, commending Mr. Hammond Abdul Wahab on his outstanding public service. Commending Rebecca Gordon. Commending Me Asia Simone. Commending Sheree Duran. Recognizing, commending DJ on the occasion of District 58 Day. Commending Amy Luciani. Commending Manisha Clark, commending Dora D. Whitley, commending Jamil E. McKenzie, commending Georgia Community Service Boards and recognizing February 16, 2025 as Community Service Boards Day at the State Capitol, commending Latoya Shambo, recognizing, commending the Sioux Schulter Workers Association of Georgia for its expertise and commitment, commending Tandy Mackey, recognizing Tiff Nicole, and recognizing, commending Lola Aloko Wayu. And for other purposes, that completes the reading of the privileged resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privileged resolutions? Hearing none, the resolutions are adopted. Members, before everyone gets out of here, because we have some announcements, I know you all have some other business to attend to, but tomorrow on March the 19th, we have two members to have birthdays. Representative Viola Davis and Representative Doreen Carter. There she is over there. Here's Representative Davis on my right, Representative Carter on the left. Happy birthday, ladies. Early birthday tomorrow. All right, we have some announcements. Representative Park Cannon. Representative Cannon is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Georgia House Democratic Caucus members, we are taking our annual caucus photo upon adjournment on the South Wing stairs. So in just a few minutes, please come to the South Wing stairs for our annual caucus photo. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman Parsons recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Speaker. Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications will meet 3 o'clock upon adjournment. So here in a few minutes. Thank you. In room 403 of the Capitol.
Chairman Corbett recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock, the Rural Caucus will meet in the Ag Building. Lunch will be served. Thank you.
Chairman Williams, Noel Williams recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tomorrow we have a Banks and Banking meeting at 10 a.m. and 506 CLOB. We have one bill that we need to pass out, but tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., 506 and CLOB, Banks and Banking. Thank you.
Tomorrow is a work day, right? Absolutely. We'll get paid, so let's get some work done. Chairman Hagan recognized for, Chair Lady Hagan recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, you should have in your House email accounts a survey from NCSL. They have asked me to remind you to please fill that out if you can. It should only take you a few minutes, and it'll help them customize their programming so they can better serve us. Thank you.
Chairman Parrish. Let's see where the Rules Chairman's got up. Y'all best give the Rules Chairman your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, remind you the Rules Committee will meet at 4:30 or upon adjournment of the Leverett Subcommittee in room 341. Thank you.
Chair Lady Cooper recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Would members of the Public Health Committee, as soon as we adjourn, go to 606? We have a very important committee meeting this afternoon, and I need you to be there and to have a quorum so we can get started. Thank you very much. 606, as soon as we adjourn.
Chairman Gunther is recognized for An announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Judiciary will meet in 132 upon adjournment today, and then tomorrow morning we meet at 2 o'clock again in 132. Thank you.
Chairman Irwin, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. House Education Committee, full committee, will meet at 3 o'clock in room 506 today. 3 o'clock, 506. Thank you.
Chairlady Ballinger, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Judiciary Juvenile Committee will meet tomorrow at 11 o'clock in room 406 in the CLOB. Thank you.
Chairman Dickey, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Agricultural Consumer Affairs Committee will meet in the morning, CLOB, 8 o'clock in the morning. We got 5 bills we need to look at, so I hope you can be there. Thank you.
Chairlady Lynn Smith is recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, everyone. I've had several questions from you about the Georgia Outdoor Stewardship Act and what it can do, how it applies, what changes are going on. So we're having at 8 o'clock Thursday morning in room 606 CLOB, we're going to have an interactive meeting. So any member is welcome to come, and we'll see if we can answer your questions. Thank you.
Chairman Brad Thomas, recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Governmental Affairs State and Local Government Subcommittee will be meeting upon adjournment in the CLOB, room 415. Immediately thereafter, the Elections Subcommittee will meet. Thank you.
Lots of meetings tomorrow. Hope everyone got their instructions. That completes our announcements. Members, if you have a page, many of you are already down here, but if you have a page, be sure and join us down front for page photos. Majority Leader is recognized for a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that this House stand in recess until 5 o'clock p.m., then stand adjourned until 10 a.m. on Thursday, March 20th, 2025.
On the motion of the Majority Leader that this House stands in recess until 5 p.m. today, at which time we will adjourn until Thursday, March the 20th, 2025 at 10 a.m. All those in favor of the Majority Leader's motion will say aye. All those opposed will say no. The noes have it. Oh, no, the ayes have it. The ayes have it. This House will stand in recess until 5 p.m. and then be adjourned.